Yeah, Glenn and Kareen, we are back in the Fashion District. This is the Ambiance Apparel store where the FBI, Homeland Security, and ICE agents have been performed a raid a couple of hours ago, and they were inside for quite some time, and we're just now seeing some people that are being detained, being brought out from the facility here. About a couple dozen people that are now being taken into custody. Now, the FBI had brought in some reinforcements to help with the crowd control, that detaining several people from the Ambiance Apparel store here in the Fashion District. And you can see some of that crowd that still remains to the rear of the facility with all the FBI agents and a couple of the Bearcats that arrived here. So they did need to bring in some backup here to help with the crowd control so that they can bring in these vans. Now we're seeing a couple.
You're gonna get injured. What you see here, neighbors and a family member trying to stop ICE agents from arresting the woman. Worcester officials say after considering the chaos that erupted, they're now exploring how
an 18-year-old high school honors student detained Saturday by ICE agents in 3 unmarked vehicles as he drove his volleyball teammates to practice at 7:45 in the morning. Marcelo was born in Brazil, had lived in the Milford area since he was 5 years old. He was also a member of the school band and was scheduled to perform the next day at the school's graduation ceremony. So on Sunday, many students marched in their gowns from their graduation to join hundreds of others at a protest outside Milford's town hall. That's Massachusetts. Let's go across the country now to San Diego, where outrage is growing after 20 armed and masked ICE agents in full tactical gear raided a popular Italian restaurant Friday. The agents handcuffed the staff, demanded IDs, arrested 4 workers. Local residents reacted angrily to the raid, attempted to block ICE vehicles from leaving the scene. ICE agents responded by throwing flashbang smoke grenades at the crowd.
Well, Ruby and Cheryl, Chicago aldermen and activists, are still here talking about what happened today. For the past few hours, confusion did turn into outrage here in the South Loop as more than a dozen people were put into trucks by ICE agents and driven away. Now, that happened just about exactly an hour ago. The faces of the men and women being put into a total of 2 vans have been blurred because we don't know whether they face any charges. This all started with concerns that people were being detained after reporting to the Intensive Supervision Appearance Program Office, also known as ISAP, right here at 2254 South Michigan Avenue.
This was the scene in Chinatown early this morning. You can see crowds confronting federal agents as several flashbang grenades went off.
You know, this all started with Donald Trump saying he was going after criminals. What I've heard today that he went after kids, parents when they were attending their kids' graduations, people that were working in the Fashion District, people that showed up, people who had asylum, received asylum, were going through the process, showed up to court like they've done over and over, and were taken to the basement and arrested. So right now they're doing more to spread fear, and they're not keeping everybody safe. You know, they're trying to say that they're keeping us safe by arresting a seamstress in the Fashion District.
Chaos erupted earlier on Friday in the heart of the Fashion District after ICE detained employees inside a clothing warehouse. Protesters threw objects at armed agents and then tried to block their armored trucks from leaving. Agents deploying tear gas and pepper spray. Hundreds of protesters then swarmed the Los Angeles Federal Building.
Cell phone video shows what appears to be federal agents smashing a car window in New Bedford on Monday. And his wife were pulled over, and that they told the agents they were waiting for their attorney to arrive.
Mi abogada viene en camino.
Vamos a esperar a la abogada, nosotros también tenemos derecho, señor.
Video shows agents gesturing for the couple to roll down their windows. When they don't, one agent grabs what appears to be a large tool. Sniffen tells us her clients were told the agents were looking for someone named Antonio.
And I said, well, that's great.
Rolling into a home to arrest a man who happens to be the niece of Carlos Bolaños in white, the man ICE agents are after.
It's her scene.
Throughout the 8-minute video, the man recording repeatedly asks the agents to leave.
Honestly, I don't think you guys should even be in here. You're basically trespassing at this moment, right now.
But the agents refuse to budge. They refuse to give their names as well.
We don't need to introduce ourselves by our names.
That's fine.
There's no law that says.
Yet again, another horrible demonstration of how ICE is operating in our communities.
Eventually, the agents arrest Bolaños, but they let him go hours later.
He was free to go because it was a mistake.
If any violence is shown against the British, then no matter what ends are gained, the march will have failed. While the people celebrated, the British withdrew their military forces. Although there were problems still to be worked out, this was the consummation of Gandhi's dream. India stood before all nations as a symbol that nonviolence can be an invincible force. It can bring about the peaceful solution of international differences.